This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, yes. As Marco was saying, on the You Can Do It front, first of all, last week we had the audit and it opened up the space for the parliamentary resolution at the European Parliament, which of course is the achievement that we want to have, basically. And the second element is that more and more mayors are supporting the initiative. So in Poland, I don't remember if I mentioned it, but the mayor of Krakow, he supported the initiative. I don't know if you reached out to him, but we got the support from the letter of the mayor of Palermo, who was the one that kicked off the whole network effort. And our panel on Saturday during the Citizens Takeover initiative is going to be a focus on the petition as an instrument, the political results that we want to achieve, and there will be the mayor of Porto, I just received confirmation, and the mayor of Valencia, and the mayor of Sant'Agata di Sant'Erno, small city in Italy, plus you and us. And the goal of that moment is to share with the audience of the Citizens Takeover the methodology and the goals that we have with the petition. So for sure, this is good. I don't know if you want, if you get any feedback in Poland about people that you promoted the petition with, and if you see some perspective, or as Marco was saying, maybe this is a good moment to see what we can do in Poland specifically.
Yeah, well, we shared the petition with few mayors. Actually, we're not in like the mayor of Krakow never participated in any events that we invited him for. So
Okay.
I didn't contact him, but he already supported the petition before we contacted the mayors. And do you have some other Polish mayors supposedly?
Another one, which is a city that I, of course, cannot pronounce. 1 second.
Because I wrote in the email I was sending to contact me or you directly. So you might expect to be contacted by Polish mayors.
Yeah, no, we got one. 1 second. Fiesna. Let me write it in the chat.
Yeah.
1 sec. Sorry, too many windows. She's the other Polish mayor that, yeah. Is it a big city, small city? I don't know which type
It's
of
a
city is like.
medium, I would say it's a medium-sized city. Yeah, I contacted mainly the big cities because we used to have contact with the mayors within one of our projects. I personally didn't get response from any of them. So I asked them to contact me back or you directly. Yeah, but I assume they didn't do any of that. But also what's in Poland now, well, as I don't know if you know or not, but we still have I can't sit anywhere to be, not my son directly on me. Okay. Directly, okay, now maybe. That I think everybody's so focusing on the elections that we're supposed to have on Sunday. We don't finally, but we just got the information yesterday evening that the elections will be postponed. It was supposed to be on Sunday. It's really crazy. And also what's kind of Polish specific, I don't know how's in your countries, but the local authorities, the mayors, actually they are left with the crisis management because the government is not working so well, and a lot of effort and a lot of decisions actually also has to be made by local governments. For example, now they're thinking if the government permitted to open educational institutions, only kindergartens. Kindergartens.
Yes.
And so the local governments also have to organize that if they decide to open, and it's kind of political and coronavirus struggle. Yeah. So yeah, I assume we don't have any big successes with the Polish mayors mayors so far. And yeah, concerning the civil society organizations, did anyone else support the petition?
We got some, but of course, after the hearing, it slowed down significantly because, I
Yeah.
mean, I think now the point is more to building the networks that
Mm-hmm.
can support the follow-up within the parliament. Maybe one thing, I don't know, what do you think about it, but since the panel, it's with some mayors, which
Mm-hmm.
basically supported the initiative exactly because what you said, because
Mm-hmm.
they are facing the situation a
Mm-hmm.
bit by themselves. Maybe
Yeah.
inviting organizations or someone that you think can be interested in this type of debate. I think it's an opportunity, like to use the panel to have people
Mm-hmm.
joining. Maybe this could be an angle to, I don't know what Marco Lorenzo is coming and think, but
Mm-hmm.
definitely the panel in itself is a milestone for the initiative. So maybe this could be an approach.
Yeah. Maybe it could be. Actually, I thought, because mayors of big cities supported the petition, yeah, so it was kind of a strong thing. It's really easy. It's really easier to persuade the mayors if they already have some mayors of other cities that are supporting the petition, and they, they don't have to think it through so much. So actually, I thought that it will work better, and they will react somehow. Yeah, but yeah,
But
maybe that.
a start. It's a start.
Huh?
It's a beginning. Like the idea is to build up on this. Lorenzo worked on the French side a little bit.
Mm.
No, non ti sentiamo. Can I ask you, Iga, what was in the petition that convinced you the most? Like from a, I don't know if a Polish or a European perspective, but what is the point that is more relevant also for the activity of your foundation? Like, what is that?
Well, generally for us it's important to work internationally and not to kind of leave the Polish fight we have here, and to open for well international cooperation and strengthen the voice of that. Okay, we Polish are Europeans, and well, generally, we really need there are a lot of Polish people who want stronger European integration, which might be not obvious on the political level, yeah. But we really believe that well, if we cooperate internationally, we might do more, yeah. We might do more, and also it's something new for us, yeah. So it's a new opportunity for us because we were kind of frustrated at the beginning of beginning of the pandemic that well, the EU was not doing much, and it was really for us it was frustrating um, both actually all the European leaders and also the president of the EU and president of the European Commission, of the Council and Commission. Well, they didn't do much effort. I actually haven't heard in the public debate, I haven't heard the president of the council because he kind of disappeared, or I don't know. I didn't hear from him. Well, the European Commission works maybe better at the moment, and now, well, after a while, they just started to work maybe more with um, with a delay, to be honest. And for us at the beginning was really frustrating, yeah, because some actions were needed and they were not undertaken. So that's why that's what persuaded us, I think, from the same beginning. And also, yeah, it was like we signed up. It was an appeal to the Commission of the Parliament to act. It was the first thing, and after that, you contacted us with this initiative. So that's kind of how it, rolled over. Yeah, but generally, well, for us, it's important to work in international chains and well, to have the also Polish voice heard internationally, because we also know that there's not so many Polish organizations who are working outside and focusing on international cooperation, networking, and so on. Yeah.
So I have a lot of questions. I don't want to overarch, but since we are having this chat, I have a few questions about Poland. But Marco, Octavia, Lorenzo, feel free to stop me, like in my interview approach.
I don't know if you can hear me now.
Yes, Lorenzo. Yes.
Okay. No, it's just a suggestion regarding the next Council on Participatory Democracy, the meeting that we are having every month about citizen participation in Europe. Usually we have 2 sessions in 2 days. Probably, I suppose, one of today could be dedicated to the Stop Global Warming initiative. And it could be an idea to bring on board maybe other organizations that are promoting other ECIs in order to say, okay, this is our initiative. What's your initiative? Let's try to promote both. And apart from that, the issue of mayors is also could be also dedicated for the other day, maybe. I mean, it could be a council based on the one hand the Stop Global Warming initiative, and then also the follow-up of the petition. You can do it, and in that case the network of mayor could be invited. I don't know, it was just an idea while I was listening to Iga about mayors in Poland.
Yeah, or maybe we could try and dedicate part of it to participatory democracy at a local level, and for example the citizen assemblies at a local level, environmental initiatives at local level, try to use the angle of how participatory democracy can be activated at regional / local administrations. Maybe keeping the focus on the environment could be an idea. This is a question that I had for you guys, like in the activities of the Polish Robert Schuman Foundation, if you have any specific, because as you see, we will have the session on Stop Global Warming and carbon pricing, and actually Poland within the council was against some updates on the commitments for the environment as a block. Like, so I was wondering if you have any initiatives that are more on specific issues, and to what extent the environmental issue is something that is part of your scope. Just understanding.
I need to find a space for myself. Maybe here. Okay, yeah, this is better. Well, actually, what I want to say maybe that first, that to encourage the local governments to participate. Talking about the participatory democracy on the local level, it's a good it's a good way because it works quite well, I would say. Well, in different cities it works differently, but the city of Warsaw is quite engaged in it. So this is a good idea to ask them, the mayors maybe, yeah, how to transform the local participation and tools that the cities have, because I think that the city of Warsaw has quite good tools to engage citizens in the decision-making process. How to transform that on the level, well, European and higher level. So that could be interesting. Concerning our activities, well, we concerning the environment issues, we have educative activities, and actually our Schumannville, which was supposed to be on 9th of May because of the Europe Day, we used to have huge celebrations each year. We make it in the center of Warsaw. We have an educative festival, so there's a lot of like big tents with where NGOs and public institutions, they prepare educative activities. And this year we were supposed to talk about, well, environmental protection, climate change. So that was our topic for this year. So that was a kind of a public event, public street event that was supposed to tackle that that topic. Well, we can't do it, of course, and we also had to cancel the Schumann parade, which we also always do on the 9th of May. If we organize those events, I'm pretty sure I will not be able to be with you today, but we had to we had to cancel that, and we changed into online activities. But of course, there are some movements of there's the movement of youth, yeah, the what's the name of them? Well, the international one, yeah.
Fridays for Future. No.
Yeah, it's something. Yeah, that one. Yeah. So we of course have that in Warsaw, and we also have there are some urban movements. It's movements of citizens for urban issues, which also they really strongly encourage environmental issues. Actually, my colleague in the foundation, he's one of the board members of one of those movements. So yeah, there are those. We mainly did educative activities, and this, well, Saturday was supposed to be our street event. Yeah, but apart of us, there are also like those. It's not like all Polish citizens wants to have coal and destroy the planet. No, that's
No,
just
no,
the
no.
government. It's just the government.
When I say Poland, I mean the Polish government. And
Yeah.
no, I'm the less generalistic person you can meet. No worries.
Yeah, but I know what opinion Poland have on the international area, and it's really terrible. That's also why I'm kind of trying to repair it and represent Polish citizens maybe in a better way than our authorities are.
No, because maybe if we, beside the organization of the council, if you can help us to connect with some environmental organizations in Poland, or if you want to help, maybe we can, I mean, if you want to stay for the session on Stop Global Warming, I'm super happy if you want to stay, because you can get a sense of
I wouldn't say. I need to finish at 7, because I have a family online meeting. So sorry, but I will have to leave you at 7.
No problem. But you can get a sense of the campaign, and maybe it can inspire some actions for you or for other organizations.
Yeah, I just couldn't open the website. It wasn't working. I don't know if it was a temporary thing or what, but
no email.
but never mind. I will try. But so shall I search for somebody for local environmental protection organization who could participate in the democracy forum?
We need to decide a bit if this is. I mean, this is the first time that we talk about it, but I don't know, Marco. There is also Per Virgilio, welcome, and Cesare. Whilst we wait for the others, I don't know. What do you think about the idea of a council on participatory democracy on environmental instruments at a local level, like?
I think that could be a good idea, also because participation, of course, is not just a European thing, and it should be starting from municipalities and local community. And the local level, sometimes you have a good instrument of participations. So to organize an occasion, well, and there is also a possibility of interaction between the local level and the European level, as the petition testified, with the support from so many mayors from all over Europe. So I think it's a very good idea to focus next meeting, or one of the next meeting, but even next meeting, on the tool of participatory democracy from the local level.
And maybe with the angle of the environment, I think we can narrow it down, but
Yes.
it can make, like, it's a specific issue, so how you unfold that issue, it's different from the other sessions, but could be a way forward. We have Per Virgilio d'Astoli with us.
Ciao Virgilio.
No, il microfono spento, aspetta. Vediamo se riusciamo ad accenderlo.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Ciao.
Hi.
Ciao to all the people. This idea is good, of course, to mobilize the major. And as you know, we have 4 majors in the Central Europe countries that adopted a common declaration. That's very good. So I think that it's a good idea. And it's also a good idea concerning environmental problems, because as you know, the COP26 has been postponed without date. The next date, unfortunately, is in 1 year. That is too much. And we don't know where the COP27 will take place. It will take place in November 2021. On my idea, it's very dangerous to postpone this COP27 in 1 year, because there are a lot of things and engagements that the institutions have to take now. And so from this point of view, I think that we have to launch a kind of alarm about the risk that there is a decreased engagement on the environmental problems. I am afraid that also concerning the European budget, you know that the engagement of the Commission was to have 1,000 billion of euro for the European Green Deal, and the risk is that because in the budget they will put a part of the recovery plan, they will decrease the money for the climate change, the European Green Deal, knowing that the European Green Deal is one of the instruments for the recovery. So there is no alternative between the recovery and the European Green Deal. The two things come together. So I think that we can't expect the COP27 in November 2021, but we have to take initiative very soon to avoid the risk that the governments will forget the question of the climate change and environmental problems because of the health emergency. I think that there is a big risk on it. And so the fact that they just say that the next COP27 is in 1 year, for me, is very, very, very negative message that we received by the international institutions and the United Nations.
Yeah, and I think this, I mean, let's wait for the people that are joining only this second part on Stop Global Warming, but this comment from Virgilio is a good trade union with the topic of carbon pricing, because, I mean, revenues are needed and money are needed, so carbon pricing can be a solution for this. So maybe the idea could be to summarize the first part of the meeting. The idea could be to have the third meeting of the Council on Participatory Democracy sometime in May, with a focus on environmental issues and the use of participatory democracy for environmental issues at local level, starting from the mayors, and connecting these at a European level with the Stop Global Warming initiative and other European citizen initiative for the environment. So this could be something to elaborate on, but it could be the angle between the different initiatives. Okay. I need to be sure that we have at least Carlo Maresca on the call to start.
I have an update. I will be Carlo Maresca for today because he had to rush to the dentist. So
okay.
I'm Carlo Maresca for this evening. Yes.
Okay. So I think welcome to everyone who is joining. So for those who don't know the background story, this is usually the weekly meeting of the Council on Participatory Democracy, which is a project to. No. Can I?
It's fine.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry. Which is a forum that together with others we are coordinating to have a space to discuss the use of participatory democracy instruments, and on one side, from a methodological perspective, how they can be used more to achieve political results, how they can be improved, and how they can impact European policies or local policies with an European gaze. Tonight, we are going to focus on stopglobalwarming.eu, which is a European citizen initiative promoted by a number of organizations, and a few of them are represented here today. And the purpose of the meeting is to apply ourselves to the use of the European Citizen Initiative, and to try to achieve an incredible result that, as Virgilio was saying, can be achieved through a citizen mobilization, which is carbon pricing specifically. So tonight we're gonna go through in the next hour, to go through the campaign briefly, to the actions that were created by the committee, so that we can collect 1 million of signatures only online due to the conditions that we all live in. So some strategies that can be applied at a European level, and also how to set up and work in communities and groups that are active at a national level, not because we believe in nation states, but because, of course, the reach and the knowledge, and you will see the structure of the campaign that a person in his territory has, is essential for the success of the campaign. You can't run it in a centralized manner. Therefore, that's the point of the meeting a little bit. Okay, I think we can go with this structure. Marco Cappato can give us an introduction on this need of a European citizen mobilization for the environment. Then Pablo can help us to get into the campaign framework, and on the actions that is possible to do already, how we can coordinate the different groups. And then we also have with us Ian Valendin, or Ian or Jean, I think Ian is correct, who is a researcher at the University of Vienna, who is gonna talk us about a specific project that he came up with when he saw the European Citizen Initiative. So we're gonna have 3 angles: what we're gonna do and why, how everyone can be active, and how everyone can coordinate other people in his network on the initiative. And the third point is how the individual genius and creativity can lead to the use of the campaign for other purposes, that in the case of Ian is for his own academic approach, but for other people can be for their own organization, how to transform an initiative that, being a citizen initiative, means is available for everyone. It doesn't belong to any organization. It's a tool, it's an instrument that can help to propose an approach to politics and to methodological approach to politics as well. So I'd say, Marco, if you want to give us a kickoff.
Thank you, Virginia. In reality, I think that the most important part is what each and every one of us can do, more than the political background of the thing, because we are already talking among persons that are sharing the attention to the issue of climate change. So I'm not discussing how important the goal it is. I just want to underscore what Pier Virgilio D'Astoli was saying. This is exactly the right moment to act, because Europe can go in a very bad direction or in a very good direction. And the very bad direction would be the consequence of the economic crisis, of course, and also the fact that oil prices and fossil fuel are so, oil price is so cheap that there is a concrete risk that the need for recovery that all of us are sharing, the need for recovery would be the need for recovery would be in a way would be prevail on environmental preoccupation and worrying. So this is why it's so important to put on the table the idea of carbon pricing, because this now is the right moment to do so. And we have time until July 20. So as Virgilio said, the European Commission expressed the political will of doing something, but there is a concrete risk that the whole process will be blocked. So if we are able by the end of July of putting on the table this very clear proposal, I think we could change European agenda, and the European Commission would be also stronger faced to national government in order to make the reason of the Green Deal stronger and prevail on other interests. So I don't have much to add, because the campaign is conceived in a very simple manner so that anybody can use it and activate in his own, on her own city and country in a free way, using the thing in order to create his or her own campaign, even without a stronger coordination. Of course, let's try to coordinate as much as possible, but we have so little time that it's good if anybody can take initiatives even autonomously. Thank you, Virginia.
Thank you, Marco. So to start with, and we will have a circular approach, I'm going to share a video. I'm not going to share, I'm going to show a video that is going to be launched tomorrow, that was produced by a video maker director who it's a gift to the campaign. And it is a very good video that puts in a nutshell what this is all about. After that, we are going to see what each individual can do, and how also we can foster our European citizenship, connecting with each other if we want to. But let's start with the video. Let me share my screen. Okay, I hope it works.
Climate change. Let me guess. You've heard about it before. You saw the headlines, the newscasts.
Climate change, climate change, climate change.
You saw the pop stars turn into activists on social media.
We cannot let this happen on our watch.
You watched all the documentaries on Netflix. You saw glaciers melting, the forests burning. You even heard politicians in your own country finally talk about it.
There is no planet B.
International werden wir unsere Mittel für den weltweiten Klimaschutz.
And that, my friend, is precisely the issue. We just talk about it. We gather up in squares, hundreds of political leaders meet at conferences, but nothing game-changing ever seems to get done. And this is what this video is about, doing something. So let me start from the top. This man's name is Marco Cappato. He's an activist and politician from Italy who has spent the last 20 years advocating for human rights and civil liberties, drugs regulation, right to die, AI for citizens, and last but not least, climate change. He, along with 5,000 economists and 27 Nobel laureates before him, has had a pretty neat idea on how to try to save our planet.
The idea is to make CO2 emissions less convenient, so to shift taxes from labor to CO2 emissions.
And this is how it practically works. By putting a price on carbon, we're all confronted with the environmental impact of our actions and incentivized to control our carbon output. This is no different from what we do with many things already. Think about cigarettes, for example. We know they're bad for the health of smokers and those around them, so we raise their price to disincentivize their use. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. Carbon pricing means that a lot of the products we all use on a daily basis might increase in price. And as consumers, why would we want that? Well, here's why. Aside from preserving the stability of the only planet we're forced to live on for any of the foreseeable future, I see you, Elon, we can also benefit from this financially. Think about this. Government revenue comes from taxes, income tax, payroll tax, corporate tax, and so forth. If a larger portion of this revenue is provided by the companies and people who most contribute to carbon emissions, then a smaller portion will have to be financed by your work, hence your taxable income. In other words, some things might begin costing a little more, but that won't matter if you get taxed significantly less because of it. Now, we think this might be a very good way of slowing global warming down. But in order for the EU to take this proposal into consideration, we need your help. How? Through an ECI. ECI stands for European Citizens Initiative. It's a democratic instrument that allows EU citizens to shape the Europe they want, suggesting concrete legal changes to be discussed by the Union. It's much more than a regular petition, and if we can get it to 1 million signatures by July, the EU will be legally obligated to take our proposal into consideration and discuss it. So here's a little thought experiment. If there was something we all could have done 6 months ago to avoid what coronavirus caused worldwide, would you have done it? Would you have done something for your future to preserve the liberties you had? The coronavirus took our liberty, and hopefully only for a little longer. Something less sudden like climate change has all the chances of doing the same. Something we should at least try to do, then go to stopglobalwarming.eu to read and sign the ECI, and please get your friends to do it. If you have any questions about the proposal, comment them below. We promise to respond to everyone with answers. There's an old saying that goes like this. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. The planet has been sending us plenty of warnings, and this is our opportunity to change future history, and hopefully into a much better looking one. Climate change.
Oh, sorry.
Let me guess.
Sorry, stop. Okay. Okay, so this is, it was the first time that I saw it, so I think it's pretty cool. Okay, so I will leave the floor to Pablo Berjano, who besides taking care of the Spanish territory, let's not call it state, is also coordinating the efforts around how each one of us can act. Like, let's start from one person, and then we will see how to multiply this. But let's start from each person in this call. Pablo, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Virginia. Let me share my screen. Okay. Let me know when you can see it. Okay, I guess you should be able to see my screen right now.
Yeah,
Yes.
just I would ask Virginia to turn off the microphone because.
Perfect. So, well, this video was very inspiring. I think this is going to have a lot of people moving to our website and sign, because finally this is a solution to stop global warming. But there is something else that we can all do. And so we have set some steps, some very simple steps that everyone can do. And that's where we are going to ask as many people as we can to do. So we have divided this into steps. The first one being, of course, we have to mention, not take it for granted, sign. So the first thing that everyone has to do is just go to a website, stopglobalwarming.eu, and sign. Second, take your network and have them getting to stopglobalwarming.eu and sign. How do you do that? First, you change your profile picture so that it also tells people that you're working on the campaign. So that will mean having a profile picture like this one. Okay, this is an example. We already have an automated tool for Facebook, for example, to have the picture automatically taken into the picture our symbol to make the campaign recognizable. And second thing that you can do to have your network, so your social networks, signing the campaign. So share your signature on your social network. So go to our website where you can find already material in different languages. So I'm referring to stories, to Instagram posts that you can already find there, and spread them through your social media. That's how all your network will go to our website and sign. But this is not all that everyone can do. There's even more. So the thing that actually is going to help us reaching even bigger networks is using the network of very influential people. So pick a testimonial that could be a singer, could be a songwriter, that could be anything that you can imagine, that anyone that could have a very big, also medium-sized network on social media, and have them joining the campaign and spreading the word. So that would mean following the steps that you've done before. So how do you do that? I'm gonna show you some examples. Well, this is already to give you an idea. Probably a lot of you have already seen this. In our website, in the support page, you can already download all the social media content. Okay, so already available there to be shared on the social media. You don't have to do anything, just copy paste. And the other thing you can do is reach to influential people. So the Italians here will recognize these people. So the first one, for example, is Fedez. He's a very famous singer, a rapper that has a 10 million network on Instagram or on social media. So we were able to get him engaged in the campaign, and he brought us so many signatures because what he did was sharing an Instagram story, a post on his social media, asking people to sign this crucial campaign that finally will change and is able to change at a European level, and not only this global warming problem. So how we can also spread the word, and how can we reach these influential people on social media? Well, if you know anyone, any singer, any actor, well, that's pretty straightforward. You just pick your phone and call them. If you don't, you can still do that. You're able to do that using social media. You can send them direct messages on Instagram, for example. But there's another thing that you can do, which is making you visible and the campaign visible using comments. So on every, once you've picked an influential person on social media, just pick one of their posts and comment on their post. Well, here's a solution to stop global warming. You just have to go and sign, and please have others sign by sharing this on your account. So these are very simple steps to be followed by everyone. We believe that they're really simple, and this is something that we already applied to Italy, and it has worked. It has worked so far. So we'll start from this, and I'm confident that we will definitely make a difference. And now I leave the floor to Jan, because he did something that well, something that also can be done. So our campaign is not a private campaign, so it can be actually taken by everyone, any organization, every citizen, and have everyone make what they want of their campaign. Jan, can you please talk about what you did with stopglobalwarming.eu?
We cannot hear you.
Okay.
Yes, now yes.
Okay, let me see entire screen. Share. So I am a PhD student at the University University of Economics and Business, and we started actually already last semester teaching a class about the climate crisis, and I am at the Faculty of Marketing. So we were thinking how to best kind of include ourselves in the potential solution. And I was very inspired by a research paper that came out of the also from our university. Actually, it's a working paper still, so very fresh research about the potential impact of a carbon price on the energy system we have in Europe. And this was really a presentation by Professor Googler, who wrote the paper that kind of opened my eyes to the idea of the carbon price. And this is also how I then came across the European Citizens Initiative. So together with my class, we are dedicating this entire semester to running a campaign to promote this idea. So our vision is to continue and build up a support effort for any kind of carbon pricing initiative globally, because this is a global issue that requires a global solution. But the first initiative that we engage with is the European Citizens Initiative that you started. So we built this website, which includes an interactive visualization, where you can actually try yourself setting the carbon price, and you can look at the impact this has on the energy system of different countries, where you can, for example, see that once you increase the price to a certain level, the coal power plants become unprofitable to run, and they are replaced in the energy mix by more cleaner versions, cleaner alternatives. So we have a kind of a data-driven presentation about the impact of the carbon price specifically on the energy sector, which is contributing heavily to the overall emissions, some 40 to 50%. So this is our approach. We have all the usual social media accounts, and we will be running some Instagram challenges also related to the carbon price starting next week. So we're hoping that a lot of people will join us and promote this idea, which will be linked to a fun challenge. So the idea is that we want to keep the carbon in our drinks and not in the atmosphere. Yeah, we're planning a bunch of different things until the end of the semester, which will be all focused on promoting this specific initiative. But we are also thinking about the future and what we will do beyond this one petition, and hopefully this will grow into a kind of a one place where people will be people can learn about the carbon pricing idea, and also will be able to take action through some sort of online activism. So that's the plan. I really like this combination of the education and activism, and I think this could be also potentially a model that we would like to export to other universities, because we are getting some really excellent feedback from the students who are really kind of hungry for this type of class, where they have a practical part. Of course, this is still marketing, right? But they are also able to participate in this kind of democratic activism. So that's I think really something new, and it's I find it quite exciting. So that's I guess all that I wanted to say.
Thank you, Ian. I think it's precious what you shared, and it also shows another functionality of the campaign that can be relevant maybe for those of us who are part of networks, organizations. Basically, we have the possibility to generate embed code. Without going into much details, is basically to have the official form for the signature collections, which is built based on the rules of the European Commission in terms of privacy, data management, the type of data that you need to gather, because it's not a simple petition, it's an official instrument, and you can embed this window framework to collect signatures in any website. So if you have a personal blog, I mean, maybe we are influencers sometimes. So if you have a personal blog, an organization that you work with, a newspaper, a local newspaper, you can request to us this embed code, and you can also collect signatures directly on your website. So potentially you can even not show the stopglobalwarming.eu website. Of course, the logo, as Pablo mentioned and showed, is quite important. I'm sorry that the creative director of the campaign who worked on this is not here with us today to explain, but the whole idea of that green logo is that it contains the name of the campaign, the URL that people need to sign, and it is shiny and impactful in such a way that if you add it on your profile, on your WhatsApp profile, Telegram, Instagram, whatever, people can immediately recognize it. So whatever you do with the campaign, make sure to use the logo as much as possible to explain to people why you're using it and to invite people to join. In a nutshell, these are the key actions. I will leave the space if you have questions or comments, but I also would like to ask to the people that are taking care of specific countries to show up and say where they live and how they're planning to do. And I'm gonna share in the chat a few links, included the Telegram groups of the countries where we already have a small community. If your country is not there and you want to be the person that can welcome people, explain them these kind of things, like how they can activate and stuff, it's not a lot of work. It's more about having someone who can help. I have no clue who are the famous pop stars in Sweden. So if Nicholas can help us to find the Swedish people, Greta Thunberg as well, but maybe beyond Greta, there is a world of environmental passionate artists and singers. So this is the type of thing that we can do. And it's a great way to be honest, before moving to the questions, in the previous 8 months of the campaign, we were able to collect 3,000 signatures. And then once we started to work with this new methodology, in 1 week, only in Italy, we reached half of the signatures that we need to achieve the national target in Italy. Because for how the ECI works, we need to collect signatures in each country, reaching a certain amount of signatures in at least 7 countries. So the power of these instruments is incredible, and it's really in our hands and in the hands of the people that we can convince. And when you're passionate about something, you can convince anyone. So that's a bit the approach to have. So space for questions and coming out of local points of contact.
Should I start from UK?
UK and Christian, UK and
so many things. Hello everyone, my name is Christian Pepe. I'm in London at the moment, and I'm taking charge a little bit the whole English speaker country and more in this activity of Stop Global Warming. I'm not going to add anything more of what the previous speaker and activists already said. They've been magnificent, brilliant. What I would like to say to you is very simple. I'm here. If you need me, we can work together, we can coordinate, we can activate a few action. You know, we are living in a period of time that COVID-19 has taught us that if we stop and let other people do it, nothing will happen. I've seen that politicians in the last decades, they haven't done much. So it's really up to us with a small action, so big action, to do something. So if you are in English speaker country or country that can use English, you know, ABBA from Sweden, I love the music, but they sing in English. So English is a powerful tool. We can go everywhere. So please contact me. I will leave my email address in the chat and we can start. I set up a Telegram group, and from there we can start, cooperate together.
Thank you, Christian. We need to say goodbye to Iga, who is in Poland, and I hope she can help us there. I'm gonna drop in the chat some links of the stuff that we've mentioned, so you can start to have a look. And if anyone else wants to say something, that's the best moment.
So I can talk if you want to talk before. Sorry, I didn't wrote anything on the chat before talking.
Go, Gaia.
So I'm Gaia Mignari. I'm living in Rennes, so northwest of France. I just started to write a lot of emails to association and people I think can be interested on this project. And I created a Telegram group where I put some friends and some people who can help. For now, I had some few positive answer, but didn't really get anyone who could really work on the campaign. But I'm working on it and hope there will be someone really interested. But for now, all the people I contact other people, so it's already a chain of people writing to others.
Thank you, Gaia. You find in the chat the link to the France network. So if you have, I mean, don't add people to the chat if you don't talk with them first. But also, if you have friends or people you want to hook up with during the lockdown, you can mention the Stop Global Warming campaign and see if they want to join a network in the country. So let's use the fact that we are all connected with people in other countries to build this net. Okay, Nicola.
Hello from me. I quickly scan the web page of the campaign, and I miss some context. So I'm going to ask more about the context, not so much. I'm not going to focus on the campaign itself, but do you? Do you propose that we increase the price of the carbon through the introduction of new taxes, or should the European trading system rise the price one day, or can you describe it a little bit more? Because yeah, I would like to know.
Definitely. So thank you for the question. Well, there is some background in the website. However, let me go through this briefly. What are the leakages of the emission trading system? The quotes are very low, and they don't include all the emission products. Okay, so not all the sources of emission. What our proposal does is increasing the price, so making it actually useful, as indicated by a lot of studies, and secondly, including all the sources of CO2 emissions. So that's briefly an answer. I hope you have a little bit more background from that.
I see in the call we also have Stefan Tobias, who is an economist, and he worked on the, I mean, not worked on the proposal, but he studied thoroughly the proposal. So maybe, Stefan, do you want to integrate what Pablo said from an economic perspective and try to deep dive a little bit?
Okay, thank you for giving me the floor. Good evening, everyone. So for me, to be honest, the major point at this stage for the initiative would be, of course, to collect more signatures. But personally, I'm not too worried about this threshold of 1 million. And let's be realistic, we will not reach it. I think we should just be trying to get as many signatures as possible, and then take it forward from there. And I think I have problems with my camera. Can you see me, or?
No, we can't.
So I'm trying again. And one thing that I think is very important going forward would be the fact that for the recovery from the current crisis, we need a lot of money, or member states need a lot of money. And that is, I think, an opportunity for this initiative to make the link between the need for money on the one hand side and what carbon pricing can bring. Member states and the EU will need billions of euros for the recovery, and that is where carbon pricing can help. And I think this is an opportunity we should try to benefit from, and a point that we should raise in the near future. And also when we think about how to take the whole initiative forward after July, when we might also link more closely again with the Ferrozine European Citizens Initiative and maybe others. I think this is the major opportunity we should look forward to.
Thank you, Stefan. I don't know if Nicolas is satisfied with the first answer he got from Pablo. We have additional materials that progressively are going to be added on the website, as well as FAQ. But I don't know if Stefan, who is probably among us the one that has the best understanding of how the ETS works, how the pricing system works, if you want to briefly answer Nicolas' question on how the money get out, basically. We might have other meetings, so this is not the purpose of this meeting, but maybe a few words just can help.
Well, for the ETS, the European Emissions Trading System, it's rather simple. The money, or 80%, 90% of it, it goes to member states, and they can spend it by observing certain restrictions. So, well, I'm not an expert on these particular restrictions, but they need to be, the money spending needs to be in line with green ambitions, basically. And then on top of that member state spending, there is a modernization fund and an innovation fund with a few percentage points. The modernization fund, especially for Eastern European member states, to help them doing the green transition, and the innovation fund, well, I'm not an expert on this either, but essentially to stimulate innovation in the field of energy use. So this is true for the ETS, but let's not forget that the ETS in Europe only covers about 45% of carbon emissions. And when we, with the European Citizens Initiative, talk about carbon pricing, there's also, of course, carbon emissions from the building sector, from transport, which is professionally my field. And that is dealt with by taxes, if it's dealt with at all. And taxes are a pure member state prerogative, and they are essentially free to use the tax income as they wish. There are no European restrictions as they exist for the ETS. And that is maybe something one could discuss, whether there should not be on the European level some restrictions.
Thank you, Stefan. I think Cesare has a raised hand, and then we have Lorenzo Mineo.
Hello, everyone. So obviously we're facing a really big issue here. You know, it's a global issue. We need to get a lot of people aligned with this agenda. But I'm not personally a fan of begging government officials to do something that the people want. I'm much more interested in making the governments do what the people want. And we have a technology that enables exactly that to happen. So I'm actually organizing a network of citizen assembly meetings where we use a new kind of networking platform where each person develops their own political philosophy out of different ideas. The platform then shows which ideas are most strongly supported by the people. And then we're able to cross-reference that information to nominate political candidates who actually represent what the people really want. So we're basically able to take control of all the governments in the world with this technology. But like I said, all of this technology, fundamentally what it enables us to do is to scale the dynamics of a citizen democracy to unlimited size, which means it's efficient, it's incorruptible, but it's also rational. It actually makes politics rational. So I'd like to invite all of you to our citizen assembly meetings, which are happening every Thursday and every Sunday at 9 p.m. Central Time. That's in about 2 hours, until we have more leaders who organize more meetings, because this is a very decentralized process. The whole idea is that people can organize a citizen assembly when it works for them, wherever it works for them, and anyone else can attend to express their opinion on that. So there's more information in the chat. Thank you.
Thank you, Cesare. We have Lorenzo Mineo.
Yeah, just would like to balance a bit the pessimistic forecast of Stefan a moment ago, because of course it's a very difficult objective to reach the 1 million signatures, and we should say it's very improbable to do it. At the same time, what we have done in Italy is proving that we can have a big improvement in the amount of signatures in a short time, because in one day with the video that Pablo was mentioning of the Italian influencer and other important personalities that shared on the social media this initiative, we increased a lot our signatures. So what I want to say, this meeting is also to propose a change in the strategy for communication about this initiative, and if we will be able to do a bit the same in other countries, reaching influencer and other show business personality, let's say, maybe we can try to achieve this objective of the 1 million signature. And even if we don't get it, I think the fact of enlarging the network beside this initiative by spreading the message to other organizations and other influent personalities about environment, well, this could be could put us in a better condition to maybe start another initiative in the worst case scenario in which we don't reach the amount of 1 million signatures. So to start a new initiative in July or September directly. So I think that this is helpful anyway to try the best that we can do in our country and try to reach as many influencer and organizations that we can.
Thank you, Lorenzo. And I would like to add something on the concept of influencer, because sometimes we think, okay, I don't know anyone. So first thing is that even if we don't know them, we can write them. It's not in the links, but we're going to have soon ready a template that is a very simple email that asks for support. But the other thing is that the concept of influencer is very broad. Like, I mean, even a person that is even a journalist, academics, sports, of maybe not so famous sports, like not football players or football stars, but maybe more niche sports that have a broad reach in their network. For example, Pablo was able to find I don't know if it's correct in English, alpinist or climber or in Spain who supported the campaign. I mean, of course, it's not like Lady Gaga, and Octavian is in charge of having Lady Gaga supporting the campaign. But I mean, the concept of influencer is simply someone who has a reach on all these social media channels that is bigger than us, basically. So let's be nerd if we want to be nerd, pop if we want to be pop, or intellectual if we want to be intellectual. But I think if we break this down into our own feelings and sensibilities, then it becomes easier to reach out to someone. And the other thing is to tell to our friends, like not being spammer, but just explaining why it's important. And there is a third action that is quite easy, and you can do it even in the morning when you check your social media channel first thing, is plenty of articles about climate change. Even with the pandemic, like people, it's a topic, and making a comment or even just posting an image as a comment without even writing an essay or a treaty about carbon pricing, but just saying, oh, by the way, there is a campaign that can do something. It's already an action. And if you take 10 minutes every day to do that, you are already increasing the reach. I know it sounds simple, but to be honest, I don't know your political views, but the far right and Trump was built a lot on people making comments on threads, on social media channels. Like really go to this article and comment. And if Russian trolls and far right people use it for the bad, why the fuck we can't use it for the good? Like it's really simple, but this is what we need to do. And it's difficult, but it's possible. So let's focus on the possible and try to make it happen. And if you agree, I think it could be a good idea to have a touch base every Thursday around this time, so that we can also share stuff that people did, experiments. For example, a guy in Italy, what he did was to write to his hosting family when he used to be an language exchange student. So he reached out to the network that organized his hosting experience in a foreign country to ask to reach out to the families that host European kids to spread the news within the network. So we really need to unlock the creativity and try to write to whoever we can write. Simple email, just ask for the signatures, and then potentially for sharing the logo and stuff like that. We have other 10 minutes before the end, so if there is any other insight, comment, and welcome, Marianne.
Sorry, I'm very late. Business call.
No problem, welcome. Carlo, coordinator of Germany.
Hello, everybody. Can you hear me? Good. No, because I'm sorry, but I could hear almost nothing until now because cause of my connection is very awful. Just to say hello, and I'm in Munich, in exile in Munich, and so I try to be a coordinator of Germany, and so I wanted to invite all the people live in these countries or in Austria and other countries that speak German to join in Telegram in the chat. So because to help the translations of the text that we have to do, and to discuss about a project to do a video specifically for the Germans, a video in German language. Basta, like this. I don't know. I didn't see. For the resume of the of this meeting, I asked Antonella. I saw she is connected.
Okay, so just to try and wrap it up, for the Council on Participatory Democracy, the meeting is going to always be on Thursday from 6:30 to 7, and from 6 to 6:30, and then we can have the weekly point on stopglobalwarming.eu from 6:30 to 7:15, depending on how much things we have to say. During the meeting, so we will also share the report with the collection of the signatures. I put here the link where you find the raw data, but we are creating a more kind of progressive report, and we're going to see how to publish the numbers on the website as well, because of course seeing the number helps to increase the competition between countries, but also the sense of urgency. Again, in the chat to find everything. I guess you have been reached via email in these days for this meeting. Drop me a line if you haven't, and you want to receive the newsletter. Also on the website you can subscribe to the newsletter, and if each one of you is in a country that is not in the list that I shared, and you want to become a contact person, I think this can really help the campaign, just to have a name on the website and potentially a Telegram channel with a few people. It's not about organizing events, because we can't. It's more about having a space to share ideas, or if, for example, there is a trending story in your country where you can kind of non-violently attack all together, or if there are other initiatives that can be developed. I mean, we decided to start with the simple action, the log on the picture, the template for the emails, and the influencer. But if you have other ideas, I mean, it's everything based on volunteer work, and we don't have a huge amount of money, so we need to be as much independent as possible. But as we said multiple times, the goal is to collect the signatures for a better European solution for the climate change and global solution. Then how we achieve that, as long as it's in the terms of not hurting anyone and legality, we can work on that with civil disobedience. But let's stick to the basics and try to make this happen. Antonella is asking, how do we keep track of who contacted who to avoid spamming influencers? That's a good question. We are trying to set up a system to see who we reached out to. Having said so, as Marco said once, it's not bad if a person is reached by 2 people with the same campaign. It just means that the campaign is important. So if 5 people write to Lady Gaga to say, do you want to support this campaign? It's a sign that it's a campaign that has citizens around it. So as long as we are polite, there is no problem in reaching twice to the same people. We are trying to develop an intelligence system, but without being too bureaucratic. So for the moment, just feel free to reach out to whoever you feel like. Okay. If you don't already, follow stopglobalwarming.eu on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Tomorrow at 11, we're gonna release the video that you have seen. So from tomorrow, it's gonna be published on the social media channels. And to be honest, I find it a very good piece of information call for activism. So if you want to share it and propagate it, it's another instrument that is available. Next appointment next Thursday, 6:30.
Virginia, where will you share this video? In eHumans?
It's gonna be both on. If you follow the Telegram of Humans, the general one, we're gonna publish there the links. So probably is the most efficient way to see it, or on the Facebook pages of stopglobalwarming.eu. So you find that on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and it's going to be propagated there. And democracy is not spamming. Good point, Cesare. Cool, guys. I have another call, so I mean, if you want to stay here and chat, I can leave this open, but otherwise, I think we can call it meeting.
I would be happy to tell you more about our platform along with giving a presentation. If anybody here would like to join me in my Zoom room, that would be more convenient because I don't know if I can share the screen. But I'd like to show
Let's
you.
do like this. I'm gonna stop the recording for this,